My grandma had 2 cows, and she was very proud of them because she always says those 2 cows, which were not the same, of course, helped us to the war because she made butter and she traded that. And we're talking about Second World War. She would trade fabric or, meat. They had obviously enough from themselves. But she would trade stuff for the kids. They already had 12, 13 kids when the war was done. So that really helped her to the war. She always says so. She was a proud dairy farmer. 16 kids for 2 cows. And where we used to live, they said, oh, they have more kids than pigs. That was also the case. 16, I mean, that's hard to beat. I would like to add that Jan's dad was really always very progressive. They were in there was a program in the Netherlands that would resettle dairy farms. So they would put all the land that you would have, they would put that together kind of in a bigger spot. So, and
earlier they had land everywhere.
Scattered around.
And they have to go with the cows from one field to the other field to milk cows. And they milk them in the fields.
So Jan's dad, everybody was still putting a tie stall down, and he saw somewhere that there was a freestall barn. And he says, forget about that tie stall. We're going to do the freestall because that is the future. He would always go forward, and Jan really inherited that from him. That he had to look further than like a sampling, that sounds really like something old, but it's a brand new idea, basically, which is, the future. You have to go with what the future is.
We could still farm over in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
The kids, not so easy for the kids to get it over all.
Yeah, we were in the middle of a nature environment. There's a Plan 2000, the year 2000, obviously. And we were from here to that barn, from there was a nature development. And we made the calculations, you can be in the Netherlands, the north, there's all kinds of earthquakes going on because of the oil that they take out of the ground. Frisian people are kind of all together, you won't mingle in. My friend says, oh, you have to come out. There's a really cute guy now in a disco. Rio Carnival, like Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, dancing, drinking. Yeah.
It is.
I came actually for his cousin. And then I saw him and said, okay, let him go. So I went out and I kind of left him right away. And then we started dancing. Yeah. I did well. So to go back to that history of the farm. So Jan's dad, he lived with his mom and stepdad. He lived in Drunen. And in 1947, he bought with his brother-in-law, who they got really well along. He bought a piece of land in what was 1970s later. They built a new house and a new farm, and that was a 60-cow barn, right?
Yeah.
And they filled it up, gradually by keeping their own offspring. And then we hopped when we took it over, with 67 or 68 or maybe 70, who cares? But we brought it up to 160. So, and that was the 10th largest farm in the Netherlands back in the day. So he always wanted to farm big, I suppose. Which worked.
Yeah, 15 years ago today, we came to the US. We took this farm over.
The whole family. Oh, we took our cat with us. And, we tried to take our cat with us. She was 1 year old. And then they had some kind of a rule all of a sudden that she couldn't go. I said, if the cat won't go, I won't go. So I talked a lot with KLM back in the day. And finally, they gave the cat go. So we took 5 kids and the cat. Oh, yeah.
Opportunity here.
His eyes start blinking.
To expand the dairy. And that's what.
It was Tony, was his dad's stepsister. And so he named the first cow Tony 1. And we ended up with Tony
60 cows.
built initially.
And then I came home from school. And then we added more cows. There were no quota system after that. There came a quota system for milk. But we also bought quota to expand more.
We sold milk.
And then the space and all the difficult rules. Before they have a rule, the other ones are ready. Before one rule is completed or finished, they have already another rule in mind.
Our oldest went with him at the end of May to actually set up the farm already and whatever. And the kids got English only in the Netherlands. We asked at school, and they talked only English to them from the moment that we knew that we were going. So our youngest, he could count to 71. He was only 4. He could count to 71 in English, but he could only count to 9 in Dutch. That was really special. Yeah, they helped tremendously with that. Really, yeah. Yeah, he knows now everything, of course, but yeah. And word train does the trick. Public TV. Yeah, we don't have programs like, and if we go to Mexico or whatever, and you see, people struggling, I always say, oh, here, I look it up and say, do word train will help you. Go over the farm that was existing. So he had 2 guys working in a day, only 3 hours per milking. And then there were 2 people in the weekends, Tony and Dave, 2 cousins of each other. And that's how we got started. Well, we had all the time of the world. In the Netherlands, we were working the whole day and we had hardly any cows. We had somebody that milked. So yay! For the first months, we were really, vacation almost. We went drag races, state fair and whatever. Well, I think that the kids, you're very worried about the kids. They are all very outgoing. Because, that the school system in the Netherlands is way different, of course. But we were afraid that they wouldn't feel, at home, basically. So those first weeks were very good. And then, school worked out pretty well, I think.
Yeah, that worked out well.
They found, a Dutch lady, Mary Fowler, and she helped our kids also enormously by giving them the hands-on, like, oh, do this, do that, try this, or don't do that. And the fun thing is that when we were just coming here, there was a guy in town, actually the undertaker, and his step-grandson came on vacation, and he says, oh, you have one child that is the same age. Why don't we hook the 2 up? He came for the summer. Why don't we hook the 2 of them up, and I'll take them to Adventureland and, and all kinds of fun stuff, Waterloo, the water park and whatever. And then he said, but you have to be aware. You cannot let them wear everything. And that was the first time that I actually thought, what is going on here? We cannot wear our Dutch clothes anymore because we brought them over, of course, Yeah. And he that's very helpful. And then you get to know other people and they will help you with that too. We had very, very much help in the start with Dan Gunther. He was our seaman guy back in the day. Alta Den, we called him. And he would help with everything. And his wife, was babysitting here because then we could go, buy cows or whatever. Dan helped a lot. Our nutritionist, Ron Elgin, did a lot for us. Finding good cows and whatever. And then, of course, the kids learn so much in school about the American way of life that say, Mom, no, and we would have Super Bowl parties and, but you have to really, I said it in the speech that we had for the award program. I said, you don't even know what kind of bread that you like. We choose the manna bread. Well, 3 weeks later, they went out of business. So you have to go, the butter. You don't know what butter you like. You don't know where to buy your meat. And like, for instance, everybody says, oh, go to Fairway. They have the best meat. Well, there is that policy at Fairway that they jump on you once you show up at the window and say, can I help you? Okay, can I help you? And that made me so nervous that I never bought any meat at Fairway. I went to Hy-Vee because you couldn't actually look around. That guy was very old, so he wouldn't jump on you. reasonable food. So, you know what I mean? It's very overwhelming then. And then the kids, of course, start behaving more Americanish, and you get used to that. So, yeah. And that's also why we made the decision that we still could go. Hessel, our youngest, was 4. And we had to go through the whole school system with him because, and that you get to know a lot of people, of course, which also makes it easier. And, you have no friends, 0 friends. And then somebody invites you for a Super Bowl party or for a race party. We were not very into American football. We were more into soccer, but you have to go. Also, you don't like, even if you don't like it, you have to go because you have to make new contacts. And that worked out really well. We're still good friends, but that's really hard. Yeah, and if you have that pink glasses on, the big pink glasses, you don't think about that you have to find a transition into the Brooklyn, in this case, community, and then, yeah. We were lucky that a woman says, "Oh, you are all by yourself at Thanksgiving. Everybody needs to be around the family, so I invite you for Thanksgiving dinner." So that's stuff, that you really need. And I know that if you are like Mexican people have a big Mexican community around them, they kind of only hop from one country to the other. Literally sometimes, but they come into a Spanish culture because there is so many of them here. There's those big communities, but the Dutch, well, they're around, but you have to look with a light.